malungil tutaon mo ra. Aradro ko mo si Ilton in McMicheal program ra. Special program ra Kausischakl. Ya okay kan mo na tutaon nga Minister Ngirai Tmetuchel. Game researcher Holger Stoecker. I'm spelling it right. Mutok Jr. Tira nga ako ra at adabela ko si Tadra Ius. Hindi archaeologist. Mangge archaeologist yang ira minister mo. Tiang web tra nga nila ngiray mo. Beto ka bebira to ko bla rule merbelau. Ilkumbral was ngire del mo mtengel kita. Kita dia kapsal mtengel eli git. Ega maklab ko to ko makmal meringa sulem onel ilota temem. Makamlatan ko kung ngitrenggel me magidi ko mamlata do. Hindi kan mal siksik ta temem mo. Akmal meringa suliul mo sa miun may. Di kun meritiang e gudo si orgiul mo na minister. Wala ko ra putingel el dolora la orgiul mo ra. Buto ka no kaider kita.
Pagwaise malumil total more adalo mesital program. Kita matingit mutial ministry kita MHRCTD yang ani sel cultural partnering erbora itu. Kita belum all selmul kori. Sekitar cultural belum all to angkorang ara gemik ra.
Waisi.
Kita le ministry. Dintara gel got klo tutelel leng document syukang argit. Edere gel kora musu baigel kuk letre tele drairaan. Kita ngal tangat leng ngal McMicheal Mutok makasar adal amba ngali. Dan taktirige le kora di belakangul murura urere. Buk opposite wakado ngara marketing nga kuk tim asal musu.
Mengisa utme
baiswakal sateal mengkoras modi teluru loru ngi modi ngal adal dadak.
Waisi.
Nangga ngi muldur klil muraskura do isen makasar ada si ilmu raskura tarabalu. Bai gulngi tringi mukam kuras modi mutok mung sel school of law ngi mom subul law ngi mungkal at sodin maralbe.
Orgiul na arkaung giwan.
Maningit tuta tuta minister tuta Joel. Tagi the project le omul last year October en trigay del adrado is neutral reach out and more trigel al origin ang agel collection sector avalurado is rakatinggen tola bagel is el bebira avalura Pacific madre kale Africa. So, gaya del constance to point, gaya ako kamle introduce ng gaya del project makle apply al tart agel fellowship program. Temle osiga 7 el app. Yakne tart trigel el selected and no part of the fellowship program. Why nga tal adra bela almlong dal bela Micronesia ngani trigel baby de kalmlong ngani ko adra Papua New Guinea ma Samoa, ma Fiji, madre kal trigel adar Africa, trigel adar Tanzania, ma Cameroon, adar kal national project. So, tagi the project adar kal mal boto ka questions ng igel EU sang manal EU si adar belau.
Era apa lang mutok ka kumda so na step by step pa.
Introduce ng kalsa.
Sabab introduce ng kalsa ni mungkang adar ge.
Oh, aktir kal sa kal introduce ng ay dale ka Dr. Holger Stoecker. Adar kal tara researcher avalurado is there kal part of the project, the sensitive provenance project.
Me ora itong akpa meski ta tribal context.
Waisi.
Ma kita matingit more adrado is give me I'm going to set up sort of the context of where you're coming from.
You can speak English.
So I'll speak in English. So we all know that Augustin Kramer was in the region in the early 1900s. And during that time, there were traveling not only in Palau but throughout the entire Pacific. And they had collected bones for study. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so these bones have been sitting in Germany all this time.
In Hamburg.
In Hamburg. And recently, as Mutok said, last October, he was sent there to be part of a fellowship to study and to find a way to repatriate these bones. And so that's sort of the context, Mr. Boraidu. And so from there, please explain where the research is and what we're doing and why you're here.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I can say that we in Göttingen have a project established in 2020 to research 2 anthropological collections, and one of them came in the 1950s, 1960s from the Hamburg Museum to Göttingen for further anatomical research, and in this collection based on a large extent to this South Sea expedition in 1908 to 1910. More than about 1,800 human remains came from this, were collected during this expedition through the so-called German South Sea at this time, from many islands and current post-colonial states, from Nauru, from Fiji, from PNG, from the Solomons, but also from Palau. And as we found out during our research that under the leadership of Augustin Krämer, the ethnologist Paul Hambruch collected here in Palau ethnological artifacts, anthropological data and linguistic data, but also human remains. And he took a lot of plaster casts, 17 plaster casts, and some measurements, anthropological measurements, and also human remains from Puluana, but also from Koroa and other islands, main islands here in Palau. And we are now not finished yet our provenance research, and especially about 3 remains from Palau. We are in the process of researching where they were stolen from, who was the circumstances, and who maybe we find out who were these persons from which the remains are coming from.
Sel lolgornge Boraidu nga kita batenge pusar ngat arbela Augustin Krämer 1900 to 1909. Eng lebato ka uriol loru tumle collect artifacts sa maklalo. Maka batenge mun trigel ngaram oror adir gamle lo replace sel adwel abay ngar sel na motar tada ngar sel. Ikadam lo matir mung bato ka klalo ngar sel again museum lo dire kan mul dimuk ra iyus. Ngania iyus el gilis el lobas agel document temdara Puluana ra southwest. Agem le lak luwid ang kluwid el kakaros el af. Ngania kaldel adra wapaldao magel lewang amla tilo badra southwest. Magparte telurior amlo identify a momes. Sem le la mutok al mamsu. Mo si kaldo ula le kadal mutel mai gegi del iyus el mera belaw. Sige ta ko ra real route tringi.
Kami mlutul melmol mo ko mutok. Sil mul sa tringi mlutul kan tinium bodo ngira sa kamil gara mo ada.
Kapor sel ko maka lumso.
I say tegi del sensitive provenance project. Aklat tegi del project del One Riken Fellowship. Apa im lorado si say last year lo mitra kagi del Dr. Holger Stoecker but tegi luguk pebil taputol del direct part del project. Ya nortal belura katinggen emlo mes agel usil other pelan la say mlani agel formula na Puluana mau kay trill tapos ang pelan dindim lakal mensos ang exactly nga nakaskelel pelaw. So last 2 months emlo research research will find out this again maral other pelaw. May game long emlo nortel Hamburg archive tel ngarapulo Hamburg at Germany. Emlo mesagel journals ra kay del Dr. Paul Hamburg. Gel Dr. Paul Hamburg ader kamlo bengel Krämer. Emle collect gel EU si dalital belaw. Ang ko pebel ngarapulo ab Apolave, Osray, Ru, Marshall Islands. Madrikal na Ru, Dirkal na nga pipilra na Ru. Social collections, nga tool ka social collections. Ang isang imol musin Bloomberg collections. Sa Bloomberg collections, nga over 800 human remains in RC. Sa imol collections, ang klala anthropological collections. Ay tool collections sa direct nga nakantigan. Sa anthropological collections, nga over 1,500 remains. Little Pacific, nga part available na Africa, South America, Asia. Ay man lebih to kali usual. Ay lo mes.
Timlap tiga user belaw nari.
Nari nga user belaw.
Hindi ka magiging si tiga kas kelel belaw.
Hindi sira ay lo mes ay journals. Palhambro kamle mention sa ngayel imol use mle mlarangar along.
Okay.
No lisa mle mlisi sel ut mangar along en malagel use.
Ngayel suwede we siya tiga ni wise.
Sel konyak mung sel dungar along saya mo one specific. May nga sa do sa malukol pulwana. Di nga ri gigi del kaldel dal di local bubble daw. Chaklol bulu daw mung larakas kelel. Tara aklol lurio relang do ngep mado sa malas identify gigi del cook remains all the rock kulmura gel blue to marat mungire la habla de kulmura blue ri seguida agora aklol lurio
So on your research, can you please give us a brief of what have been done?
We have find out that in the collection in Göttingen there are 7 remains from 7 persons, 4 from Puluana and 3 from Palau, whatever that means, from Babeldau and from Koroa. And there's one skeleton and the other ones were skulls or part of skulls, and one child, I think one child is from Puluana among them. What we have to do still is to make a bioanthropological research on this remains, where how old they were and when they died, and which biological sex they have, and are there any pathologies or so on. And the remains from Puluana is quite clear in terms of the historical origin. But the other one, the 3 from from Palau, are not really researched, and we have to do this research in a much deeper way. And I'm now in the process of researching with German sources, but also from Britain and from Palau, of course. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then we provide a case report or case reports on all this. In which we put together the historical and the anthropological research and provide it to you, that you have a base of knowledge how to proceed with these remains here.
Simela kamgora smodi duro sikada maral betul gel tegi dulu.
Lagi mla Aigel dodengel mung global EU subtilo dra polwana amdoringa te lamal mit loban tirikil ada salbulu magi mokal dible smodi apitelo beor ga iwsiu mela multiversal meeting alwaset mo mutul mora abluri engel chivertirak mo agil mutul mal mot magrogui tirik mo wangara tele la bodo dola baikal me mo wangara tele la bodo laktu Segi del anga ora do ngiri adra pulwana. Dige del kaldel liu sul qadi lokal babal da ora ido. Ador omda surel at mung mo ngara tele. Yagi qoram lamsu bungi ngari ar adra Hawaii mabira blum lamma ya ora ngilal memro designate ra imol basyo. Emro makle ya ora Soden. Okay. Dan dia kalau berdua tu mung gobli riger, terungal riger, ngora dia kalau seedet mung ketemu belak riger.
Kita sih cakap dia ni, mau mendengar luas gang ada riger, wanggil beli tiga riger ada orang.
Is it possible to do DNA and determine where they're from?
I'm not a bioanthropologist, I'm a historian, and I'm not really an expert, but I have some doubts to overestimate the possibilities of a DNA. What you can find out with a DNA is there a relationship between this and this individuum, but not, you cannot find out is this a criteria from this or this ethnic community. There is not a marker within this DNA.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and it depends from the references to which you can compare this concrete DNA, and these references are very often not very sure, to my impression. But the specialists and the experts of the bioanthropological research, they have another opinion, and so they can do more.
Kamgora o te observe sing.
Daka igele DNA research again DNA analysis why is it possible? Akmela tak tenggi tele adra DNA direct ngat talbura kat tingen ne offer DNA in the most likely use mal exposed over 100 years and ding dakal mal nungil preserve ding tamot tra ningil malay kalakta igel DNA so malungil ko ti identify sa game na nakaskel of course ngayon ang mention sang malmringil o sigil igel use ako mlarigel blue mlarigel
But can we identify who are they? Are they Polynesians, Micronesians, Filipinos, or?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Based trigel omsu Michael Journal so ko mutok etamadenget mumnarbeno. Maldi marababier oi mung rababier temlangair beno now guerra sigila karyon.
Di ngal ada yang modengel sing other gear.
Dia.
Okay.
Di kita global EU sa to denget muntilo tra southwest.
Kaya gin ko EU isang ngarger. May gin ko klaro belaul parte tia lureri ang mudi era dois.
Oi, why say? Igel EU sa igel 7 mlara katingen direct ngara voice.
Kamso ni kalkatingen ngarger.
Katingen segora ngara Central Germany one rabululeng ngara if ako mo several mortelle bulura Berlin ngara train at least 4 hours and mora katingen mora south
Observation museum ngang ngara
ngora storage ra use
Lul model adras dois.
Nang sel ka BS leng I get use actually mlara temla collectoringi ngul mora Hamburg museum. Sera 1953 matem le move ni mora katingen I get all use.
Belal blad bodo dengil wasing clocklet. Shall Mike?
Segidrel ang urior.
Can we bring them home?
Why say? Ma terkabay doy sabay mla offer mo se mem identify the borsel maral tele le dolu tele kor kami. Tingita urior el al time.
Umaradra pulwana o meeting.
Aula gilo meeting lo bentin ra badek terka adrir.
Why say?
Kloto tele la bolo tangi. The borsel tele la repatriate el mel mura bluri el mot maklo. Sige dato korang ari re lang.
Ya, kami to kukpura egal di bebira aklan ramdula ba bela. Aside from the bones, what are other things that German kept for us the last 70 years, 80 years?
I can share. Saya kalau bam share experience ako. Ngara biles klaro bela ngara museum ngara gigil box.
Radois.
Oi, sige dra tuman sakara baluradois sak no may segel Fabel Museum no osi gel iwisi other bela. Ya osi silta makno may segel klal mo. Makno namo Fabel Museum makno visit osi silta makno mit trigel curator represent wa Oceania. Yakmle aska gel list again na bela. Collect a role list, combine at least 2,000 individual artifacts. Museum in Germany. But there might be more.
Nako umar mahal betok. Betok plames ramada. Di tigi de akbade pung angara next question ako. Hindi ka tangay rokoy. Hindi.
Malu ya terula dia duplicate ngi rokoy.
But kita ko raw real gimulum basringi wala dula ministry leng kita matangep mul at tara madarangi ramla memo ngamlengele me Minister Burbach Radois, Minister of Foreign Affairs. Inge gimadadu nga kami ma presidente mo sa Radois real time amalas malolo taklalo lengila raga gidal ka karosul balu. Hindi mungulger nga kalpungan nga the swim me malaklokli. Ma mlebyo telhenjir nga kapmo akalebay lambade ertil ang safe ralame.
Gimulger gide.
Ending mle alda dakal mo ngap mukalel sa edalo sigal do ulit tamul gori kadam mas shasin kadam mula hologram udabat technology lo old tegel ngaringi
Hindi dakdalan mi
mandak dolan meleng mol mata dengi daka orotya generator eleg mal well preserved agil klalo nga say atang ngaraw do sa memo to
I see.
Ela igel claro, igel articraft. Kita mo igel wase ngaral clear. Itaboring dalsa ng tangarabin nargel bulu rabinaw. Igi sa atin mo ba?
Age da unda sage age dim lang tat sa ige dale Arifax. Age mal di focus sa EU se morong. Oh.
Akmal ko bilsa na tragaw. Ra abibiring ilo bitig clock lam rablima. Clock lang ang ako di ko masige del argument kasi hindi ka kasi do kora mo alter other bela bo kasi ay gang ako kumlagin me di sesera to na other bela mines yam lagi kasi gang klaro video klaro ngarar klaro ngar ba ibli ako di sa ano ilen kaya ka na wil to ko blam dali di ka del identify le mo tinangan men mo na museum hindi ka mal background niya ka kora yung black cream. Since may researcher ruli.
Mal sa because ay del klalak misal balurado is automatically identify sing mlargeling seltam rado is seltam ng ospango that spelling. Maktran o messaging setial. Wa example bisa sel imol rock la. Tamna identify sing mlara ay bugit. Ay bugit takora one balura nga bugo. Mlengo na spelling set. Tam di sige naman lo spectral research sa igem lan leng igel klal na igel belo ko ngargel pilit sa ngargel. Oh, lengo da
ito ka mo tulum na mo ka to bulu da to ngay.
Ngo da spelling ngi leng trige atrado sa spell out igel belo.
Tara soal merunia obatel program ora itu ora mengalikra atau mosori telurior. Ay kata kalkura popular lurior. Ngal muto kablo di berrot le di mungui di omes. Hopefully through this title program makora ay kita lo sisa aklar ada ku koro omes yang lagi dak muklel soal mo.
Probably full. Auriura kisan keredil misader still. O balang ay ga interest other well rogi. So let me just ask you one more question. During your research, how far are we and where we're heading?
How far? What?
How far are we now from your research and where are we going?
Oh, we are in the middle of the provenance research, and next month, we can finalize this our results and present it to you, of course. And it's from our side, the University of Göttingen is very ready to repatriate it and to organize the travel of the delegation to Göttingen for a handover from the formal and very serious handover to the delegation. But we can also talk about other options of further handling, and we are very open and of course, we want to make a publication on this issues, on the remains from Palau. That's the knowledge about we can share it with a broader public. So it's
Mutok kailangan natin kamatela. Tiyan mo rin mo rin. Mas medyo nga sel lolgori ng kami kita uyuwi mo kita. Ako na din kung pati alam ready ul. Mga bok mo sa edel mo mga gelwa sa kadang may kalkula Germany may kada. Dim edak mo na research ko mi ma am subi ura gina nga no klaro.
Why say I get the medela el atta magi share ke del 7 usually other belao. Ding ladir ka ngani aptol use el ngana bulurato is dan wilang ga del ada di ngarato is lo may sa gelbet kan museum. Mall Holger se kola pa gel use el mar belao. If yung ngi yung pay di bol email na sa ong tell one na bulura Berlin tell one na museum mga niya use other belao. So it's an actual project and critical again dito mo osi exactly tell use na bulurado is isa kita ko ramal akmam le focus sa niya.
Ikaw ulam Burberry there, ora ito mo other na sek, sube. Terkabul all trade. Tukuk mo may kaki dele mo, kimay kaki.
Rami museum.
Sira temel ang makamada na 1940s ang marnya bilsas bariri. Kaki da klubi da to ngit mal merigit, ngira dar mo malay. Din dak do ngit mul angale baby Burberry dra baby ram museum.
Okay, I have one very last and maybe crazy question, but why the Germans want to collect bones?
Why they collected bones?
You know, why they went around the world?
That's the question.
It's not only the Germans that
all the archaeologists around the world do that.
To my knowledge, the whole Western science in the 19th century there are collected human remains, because in the beginning of the 19th century there arose the question about the position of the mankind within the zoological system, and there were established several varieties on the human race, and these varieties were very early connected with social and cultural hierarchies, and this were more and more moved into races, and to confirm this concepts of racism, they collected human remains to find several criteria and measurements on this, and to establish hierarchies with, especially between the Europeans, the white Europeans, and the Africans. They are colonized during the political colonialism, but also on the people in Oceania. So it's more or less a scientific, but also a political attempt to understand the world, and
they were ruling the world.
Yeah, and to make a new order of the world, and to gain arguments for the colonial rule, and so on. And in the end, it collapsed.
Let me ask us a subsequent question. So, are those studies made public?
Yes.
What was there a significant? What did they find that's unique?
It's depends from the question, and what they find.
Anything unique, like length of life or diet or
species.
It's difficult.
Is it possible to study the bones to see their diet then and our diet today to compare?
Today we have a completely other attempt on this research material, and another attempt to gain or to handle with human remains. And we have now to ask the community of origin, of course, to involve them into this research. And if they did not allow this kind of research, it do not happen, of course. And it is a very strong difference between today and the colonial period.
Kako ngani ko na sir ko din si.
Jawas seral akmla balurado is ngani trigela the lois is nga ul tem nga electrical use trigel soil study ngani set to ko race research lang manlet close study between our races lang to categorize ngara difference other Pacific ngara difference other Asia based I get bone structures and kita ko kumlara igel osisyul ancestors rigid o kumne ka gi selta memleklo stadim sing kita ko kakarus sa laad or
siya ano ba lang suba.
Saya memleklo super selta man.
May yang area ako result rin siya de mese.
O kita kung teme publish na siya dal dire so dal mo
yung mga pigment do mese ba sige. Kung magi other gear.
Oy say. Nendim lang at technology selta man wa DNA testing mga claim dit. Tadi omes sa gel EU sa book study gel EU.
Why say. Kamo.
Ya, sige de ako tara tilag tingin la vere la ministry. Loro lo bangalekan museum so identify elang ko kamal na focus sertel lomsu ba mal di EU. Lo ultim na kaboltat saklalo. Hindi ak madingep mo wa constant marwa mendia magatakat marayan matakto yan magatakat marayan kan museum ito bading klalo at sila igi ding si adal ko eventually ko shift tra focus mo me saklalo di el all time gorawada remel tuira is so adal ko moro gira telurior repatriate alu ko Michael use mem ko man mo makregel also
it's interesting. Maybe a couple of us should have gone to Germany alive. Hindi kung tas na kita ko ramle.
Dim nagigide once the decide at mong mo nga natetelen ng sila te era gigidel bulu lobong gamam morado isul mo nga ko ra ceremony mo.
Tingin iusira diri.
Why say? Kaya takal gigre to ko ra do the repatriate iusira at terkam le at.
Ela kami ko pa kaloro ko to the university ra.
Amo to kung batirat makaloryo.
Sa university ra
Katingen.
Yang makme guna nga sulit, wala kang sulang.
Ako man.
Ari ako natin kasama mo your last statement to the community and you pass it on.
Oh. Hindi ko bal masulang ang kay le talk show ko radi share kay preview of information. May information ay mitigar ni rato isra clarado is 2 months. Ako radi osisuta makora sa kan radi malakora comments sa public sa ngado sur gilid tagi the project abot sa ko email and may makti sabi ko radi malay get feedback oo
hindi ka mo wa email ko Mr. Tigalwim to the screen mas email ko ra directly.
Okay,
Any last statement, Mr. Stoecker, for
I just want to thank you for the invitation and to be here and to have the chance to talk to such a lot of people and interesting people and to be part of such a process of repatriation, possible repatriation. Yes, I'm very, very grateful for that.
Kabo Minister.
Ya kan so kaldi mo nga sulela mo to kumangkal sa elit Katinkan University. Leng terga aktiso ko sa ay terga mahal ko makay.
Adak tiyak mal ko makay.
Gire del kora busubul mo sa gire even though talgib na mihita soder sa gire 19th century omong yung legal pro din la kan balmal hindi kasi gire tamala sa bal correct sa gire to. Di so kan malore na sule bal bis ko mate alay ni mo da smoothie tiang ko ma next time the luto.
Yeah, Woman Sulang, I think it's nice to know where we come from and part of our history that you guys are doing. So thank you very much for sharing those with us.
Thank you.
Nga ka, mereka sulit na minister, tilikan archeologist. Na gumra mo si sekla berkutu ko imge den mo wil orang se yang ngumangari ka remiu. Ya mo mura mutok ya email address ni tia screen. Bukan directly kom eskertir mal subangari suggestion ko bukan direct etc. Malu ba ko sender mera TMC forward mora. Okay. Gidita. Mara ko man sular ro ya sia hal meto ko bet program el tutao. Yung tera radra TMC ko nga sular minister Mr. Holger Stoecker McMicheal Mutok Jr. Thank you for the very good information to the project. Kuman sulam meiga.